On this coordinate graph, the dead center is psychological apathy, 0, 0, the perfectly lukewarm state. In the physics of consciousness, zero energy equals zero existence. Sit at this origin point, producing no heat or tension, and the system rejects you. Reality collapses. Thoughts have thermodynamic properties mapped on two axes. The vertical axis is temperature, or will. The cold bottom is passive suppression. The hot top is proactive willpower. The horizontal axis is saturation. The wet left is fluid connection. The dry right is rigid separation. Escaping the trap of the lukewarm center requires a commitment to move outward. You have to abandon the safe center for the extreme elemental quadrants of the mind. To build reality, we must subject our raw thoughts to a violent mechanical engine, transforming them through distinct elemental phases. The cycle starts here. This is the ocean, the cold, wet quadrant. It is the origin point of human empathy and pure possibility. Wadum holds infinite potential, but its passivity prevents it from bearing weight. It yields to its container rather than shaping it. To build a structure, a mind must cross the axis, removing emotional moisture to solidify the thought. This is the earth phase, cold and dry. Without intent, these dry thoughts turn into regressive, heavy stones of base observation and cynical insults. A thought crystallized with purpose functions as a seed, a rigid foundational structure ready for growth. The seed cracks open and sprouts. A vine of interrogative questions pushes aggressively upward, seeking the path of least resistance through the heavy dirt. The fluid connection of empathy requires the cold discipline of structural logic to plant an idea firmly in reality. To keep pushing upward, the vine reaches toward a hostile horizon to absorb high-strain kinetic energy. It enters the fire quadrant, hot and dry. This phase demands fierce ambition and the selfish extraction of resources to fuel the engine of action. Cautionary: this state is highly exothermic. If the vine lingers too long in the heat of its ego, the energy consumes the structure, leaving only ash. The few thoughts that survive the fire cross into the highest thermodynamic state of air. Air combines the proactive, energetic heat of the fire with the giving, saturated nature of the ocean. This quadrant represents the moment where proactive willpower meets universal benefit. The high-energy drive of the fire is finally able to scale through the collaborative fluid of the ocean, building architecture that can sustain others. A healthy system demands the destructive friction of selfish ambition to reach the healing connection of empathy. The vines that reach this hot, wet air begin to bow under their own weight, using internal heat to collect humidity from the sky. This condensation process cools the elevated cycle of thought back into a pure, constructive fluid. This fluid rains back down to the ocean below, nourishing the raw potential of the next generation of seeds. Progress functions as a continuous, looping phase change engine. Reaching the high wisdom of the air requires surviving both the rigid freezing of the earth and the dangerous burning of the fire. The universe demands a choice of vectors. You can freeze, dry out, or burn in the pursuit of creation, but you cannot remain lukewarm.